Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody's day is going great. Mine is, and we have a really exciting video today because first we're going to be talking about the Finnish World Cup roster. These guys are nuts. Like, I don't think people realize how good this team actually is until they look at the actual roster. So I'm going to cover them from the bottom to the top, and we're going to see where they stand compared to teams like Canada, USA, and obviously the best Korea. And yeah, we're just going to be covering more World Cup news, guys. So if you're excited and you love the World Cup news, be sure to drop a like on my video, subscribe to my channel for more daily Overwatch content, because that's what I do, boys. And now let's go ahead and just jump into this video. So I guess we'll kick it off with Team Finland first, actually. So this is their final 7 roster, and again, before we hop into this, guys, they're the real deal. They got some solid players. Pretty much everybody's in the Overwatch League. So starting off with the main tank from Finland, we have Fraggy from the Philadelphia Fusion. Now, I know Fraggy has had his ups and downs in the Overwatch League, but let's be honest, he is still a pretty damn good main tank in comparison to everybody else. And I know recently he's kind of lost his starting position to Sado, or, you know, I don't know who Philly's going to run in the playoffs, but Sado did play most of Stage 4. And if you guys go back and look at how many games they won with Fraggy and how many they won with Sado, they won more with Fraggy. In my opinion, I think he's a better fit for that team. I don't know if he's a better overall main tank than Sado, but when he was in there, they were doing better. I know he got a lot of flack during stages 1 and 2 for dying a ton. Specifically in stage 1, he kind of cleaned it up in stage 2 and 3, but stage 1 he died a ton. And honestly, a lot of it did have to do with the playstyle of the Philadelphia Fusion at the time. They were really like an all-in super divey team. And it wasn't fair to Fraggy that he was being pinned as a guy who was just feeding and dying all the time. Because that was their strategy. Like, go in, Fraggy, go. Distract people so Carpe could kill everybody. So EQO, Shadowburn can clean up. And we also saw Poco becoming a superstar during stage 1 because of this as well. So Fraggy definitely did get some undeserved hate, in my opinion. I think he is probably a top 6, top 7 main tank in the league, maybe even better. So he's going to provide a lot for Team Finland. Now moving on to their flex tank, we have Zappies. Oh, and actually going back to Fraggy real quick, and actually a lot of these players on this roster, they played for Team Finland last year, so they've done this before. And they actually flopped, which we're going to talk about later. First, let's just keep going over the roster. So we have Zappies, the flex tank. He's from Florida Mayhem. We saw him get signed in the middle of the season by Florida. Hasn't really had too much start time. He got a little play in, but Manitin just overall, in my opinion, is the better player, and I think Florida Mayhem agrees with that. So Zappy hasn't seen the stage too much, but overall, he's a very well-experienced player. He's had pretty good success in Europe. He played for Team Giganti when they won European Season 1. That was when Misfits was pretty much the favorite. They had a crazy win in the finals, and prior to that, he also competed with NIP, which was a staple of the European community way back when Overwatch was first coming up as an esport. Just, he's been around forever. He has a tournament experience. Just like Fraggy, he competed for Finland last year. Not only did Fraggy and Zappies play together on the last year's World Cup team, but they also competed together on Giganti and on NIP. So these guys have a lot of synergy. Now moving on to the DPS players. Starting off, we have Taimu from the Dallas Fuel. Now, we all know who Taimu is, the guy who basically just had no career halfway into the Overwatch League. It seemed like, you know, it was all over for him. He swapped over to main tank. It was a complete fail. He tried to go back to DPS, didn't really work out, and he got a bunch of flack. And Aero came in, stage 4 happened, and Taimu had his resurgence, and he's back, guys. So this is a huge player for them. If Taimu is playing like he was in stage 4, Finland is going to be a scary team. But that's if he plays like he does in stage 4. Taimu has notoriously been known for being a player that is very streaky. Either he is super hot and the guy's hitting the craziest shots, or he is just cold as hell. He can't do anything and is getting destroyed by the other Widowmaker, or just whatever he's playing in general, he doesn't perform good on. So because of this, I think Taimu really is the X factor for this team. If he shows up big for them, they will perform. If he doesn't, then the team could possibly struggle unless they end up running their other DPS player, which we're about to introduce. Before we do that, though, let's talk a little bit more about Taimu, because as I said, he's the X factor to this team, and I think he'll be a crucial member to their success in this World Cup. And what Taimu brings to the table is pretty unique in my opinion. A lot of you might look at him and say, oh, he's a good Widowmaker, he's got some decent hit scan inside of him, but that's really it. He's not really flexible. Well, I disagree. He's actually got a really interesting hero pool. Yeah, he can play that Widowmaker, he can play that McCree, he can play that Soldier. I feel like Taimu is kind of that unique DPS player where he can play those hit scan roles, but he can also touch like the Reaper, he can touch the Junkrat. He has like his little spots here and there. He can play the Roadhog. And as I said, this is really unique, and you can use Taimu in a lot of different situations. And if he is hot, he can absolutely carry this team. So this is why I think he is so important for Finland. Sure, they can still do good without him, but if he does play for them and does great, these guys will go deep. Alright, that's enough for Taimu. So let's go ahead and move on to his partner in crime, the next DPS player. We have Linkser from the Houston Outlaws. Overall, Linkser was one of the best DPS players in all of Overwatch League in my opinion, especially when you want to look at just Western players. He was solid. Sure, there were times where he didn't have best performances and he was a little down, but he quickly got his confidence back, and when the Houston Outlaws were winning, let's be honest guys, it was mainly because of Linkser. If this guy popped off, Houston won. If he had just like an okay, like he played good but not great game, Houston would usually lose unless somebody like Jake or Muma could really staple a game down. So Linkser being a key role member for the Houston Outlaws, now teaming up with players like Taimu, and then also this next guy we're going to talk about, there's definitely not going to be as much pressure on him, and I think he'll be able to relax on this team a little bit and not have to hard carry so much, especially when it comes to like that Widow role. Now we can see how flexible he really is, which by the way, Linkser is extremely flexible. The guy can play projectile, the guy can play hit scan, he can play Junkrats, he can play tracers, he can play pretty much anything right now. So the fact that they have Taimu, they could put him on the Widowmaker, Linkser could focus on the Genji, focus on the Pharah, we'll finally be able to see his wings spread. And I'm not trying to bash Jake, I know I did this in a video the other day about USA, but let's be honest, yeah, when Jake played good, it was great for the Outlaws. They would usually have really good performances. But most of the time, Jake just played really subpar or average, especially after stage 1. Now that he's going to have somebody that Taimu who can potentially pop off like crazy, Linkser might not even be the guy who's getting fully pressured, because that was an issue with the Outlaws as well, where whoever was facing off against the Outlaws knew Linkser was the hard carry. All they had to do was dive him, put a ton of pressure on him, and if he didn't perform very well, the team would just eventually lose. We also saw this situation with like Baby Bay, Addo, Seiya player. It's something that we saw a lot with some of like the average, maybe a little bit above average teams that had superstars. Once those superstars got shut down, the team wasn't nearly as good. So I'm super excited to see Linkser and Taimu potentially play together. And then one more thing about Linkser, you gotta mention this. He also played with Fraggy and Zappies on Team Giganti and NIP. So that's 3 players so far that have a lot of experience. Like, they were teammates for over a year, guys. And now let's go ahead and move on to their third DPS player. Which, remember guys, it's not a 6-man roster, it's a 7-man roster. Team Finland has decided to bring on 3 DPS players, and it's going to be Davin from Team Giganti. And if you guys don't know who Davin is, he's probably one of the deadliest contenders players in all of the world. I was surprised he didn't get picked up at the beginning of season 1, and I was extremely surprised when he didn't get picked up halfway through. I 100% thought Davin would be in the league. He was on my top 10 list of players who should have been in the league that weren't. And if I do another one of those, he's gonna be on it again, because Davin is good. This DPS lineup here is freaky, dude. It's really good. And Davin, as well, was on that Giganti team and has experience with Fraggy, Zappies, and Linkser. That's 4 guys so far out of the 5 that I've listed that are from a team that was together for over a year and had major success in the European scene. This definitely cannot be looked past, guys. It means a ton. So that's going to be it for the DPS players. Let's now move on to the supports, which might be the best part of this whole roster, which is surprising, but not surprising, because it's going to be Big Goose and Shaz from the LA Gladiators. Yeah, you guys heard me right there. We have one of the best, in my opinion, the absolute best Western backline in all of Overwatch League. These 2 guys are the real deal. Big Goose, he can play that Mercy, he can play that Lucio. Oh man, thinking back to his Lucio was so damn good. It's unfortunate we didn't get to see it too much in the Overwatch League, but Big Goose was probably the best Lucio in the game in my opinion, and he's also a sick Mercy. Moving on to Shaz, amazing Zenyatta, one of the best in the West. And Shaz and Big Goose have so much experience. Not only did they spend the last 7 to 8 months practicing and training every single day in person at the Overwatch League together, but prior to the LA Gladiators, these guys were on Team Giganti playing with Fraggy, playing with Zappies, playing with Davin, playing with Linkser. Guys, this 7-man roster, 6 of these players were on a team prior to the Overwatch League, and they were the #1 team in Europe. Think about it. This is a huge advantage for all of these players, and the fact that they are all so much experienced now means so much. Every single one of them has experience together besides Taimu. But, I mean, you're throwing Taimu in there. Maybe Taimu doesn't even play. Doesn't even matter. Taimu plays, he doesn't. This team is going to have so much previous synergy. They're going to come together and they're just going to click. These guys took down Misfits, who were pretty much the undefeated gods of Europe. They weren't supposed to do that, and it was also on LAN. This whole tournament's on LAN. These guys have all been in the Overwatch League playing on LAN. Like, everything is lining up for Team Finland, in my opinion. Now, some people might say, oh, well, Michael, this is pretty similar to the Team Finland had last year. They still had experience and synergy back then, but they flopped hard. They lost in the group stage to Spain and Japan, 2 teams that they definitely shouldn't have lost to. Well, you know, that happened last year, and sure, they had some of the same players. They had Taimu, Linkser, Zappies, and Fraggy. They didn't have Shaz and Big Goose, and trust me, Shaz and Big Goose over Zupe and Kindle? First of all, who the hell is Kindle? Second of all, Zupe, please. You guys, this team is going to be way better than the one last year. They might have choked 1 year ago. They have Overwatch League experience between all of them besides Davin. I really do think these guys will be way better, a completely different team this time around. And if they're not, well, they have no excuses. If they flop again, that's just sad. Now, comparing them to Team USA, Team Canada, and Korea, obviously they're not better than Korea. Nobody is better than Korea. They are more than likely going to win this tournament. But I do feel like USA, Canada, and Finland now have a chance to, you know, give Korea a run for their money, pick up maybe 1, possibly 2 maps. But when we take Korea out of the equation and we talk about Finland, Canada, and USA, Finland might be better than both of them. And I feel like I don't really need to explain myself that much anymore because I've done that throughout this entire video. Just look at the roster, look at their previous synergy, their experience, all of that coming together makes them a solid World Cup team, and there's no reason they won't be able to compete with USA and Canada and possibly even win. Last year wasn't their year, but this year 100% could be. And I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. I could compare the rosters side by side. I might do that in another one, but we're already getting at the 12-13 minute mark, so I don't want to make my videos too long. I've been trying to leave my videos at like 10 to 13 minutes, 14 max lately, so you guys don't have to like sit around and watch forever. So let me know if you guys have been enjoying that. And overall, if you like this video, be sure to comment down below. Tell me, do you think Finland is that good? Do you think they have a chance against Korea, against Canada, USA? Also, drop a like on it if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more daily Overwatch content. And that's going to be it, guys. I'm out of here.